Pitt's India Act of 1984. Background provision, significance and drawback. Pitt's India Act of 1784 was British Parliament Act that established a dual system of control over India. It aims to address the shortcoming of Regulation Act of 1773. हम देखते हैं क्या है पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1784, ऑल्सो नोन एज ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी एक्ट ऑफ 1784, was a British Parliament Act that established a dual system of control over India. The act's purpose was to address the shortcoming of Regulation Act of 1773 and bringing the East India Company rule in India under closer control of British government. Named after British Parliament William Pitt the Younger, this act marked a watershed moment in British Indian governance, laying the groundwork for eventual establishment of British Raj. Pitt's India Act of 1784. The Pitt's India Act was introduced during the tenure of Lord Baron Hastings against the backdrop of growing concern about East India Company's mismanagement and corruption in India. Several factors contributed to the need for this legislation. सबसे पहला है failure of Regulation Act of 1773. The previous act had not effectively curbed the company's excesses or provided adequate oversight. Further, the East India Company was facing several financial difficulties necessitating a government bailout. Military setback. The company had suffered defeat in conflict with Indian power, particularly First Anglo-Maratha War 1775 to 1782. Increased oversight of Crown. The East India Company has shifted from a trading entity to ruling power, raising doubt about its ability to govern. ठीक है. William Pitt the Younger introduced this legislation to give the British government more control over Indian affairs. ठीक है. Failure of Regulation Act of 1773, military setback और इंक्रीजिंग ओवरसाइट ऑफ क्राउन. पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट की प्रोविजंस देखते हैं. द पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट इंट्रोड्यूस सेवरल की प्रोविजन टू रिफॉर्म गवर्नेंस ऑफ ब्रिटिश इंडिया. द प्रेसिडेंसीज ऑफ मुंबई एंड मद्रास वर टू बी सबऑर्डिनेट टू गवर्नर जनरल. इट इंक्लूड फॉलोइंग प्रोविजन. देखो, ब्रिटिश पोजेशन. द पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1784 गिव ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल ओवर East India Company, making it a subordinate to the state. The company territories in India were called as British possessions. Board of Control. The Act created a 6-member Board of Control to regulate Indian affairs and East India Company, which included Secretary of State as chairman, the Controller of Exchequer, and 4 other members appointed by the Crown. Power of Board of Control. Board of Control had broad authority to oversee all civic, military and revenue matter of East India Company. It assessed all the company paper and had to approve all dispatches. Dual control. Pitt's India Act of 1784 separated East India Company's commercial and political role. The company kept its commercial activities while the British government, through Board of Control, managed its political and administrative affairs, creating a dual government system. Governor General authority. Pitt's India Act of 1784 reduced the number of members in Governor General Council in India to 3 members. Earlier it was 4. It included commander in chief in council. Property disclosure. The Pitt's India Act requires civil and military officers to disclose information about their properties in India and Britain. Corrupt officers were entitled to harsh penalties. Pitt's India Act of 1784 significance. The Pitt's India Act of 1784 marked a significant shift in how East India Company operated in India. It holds considerable significance for several reasons, जैसे कि recognition of territory. The Pitt India Act 1784 marked the first instance in which the territory controlled by East India Company were officially recognized as British possession in India. This terminology underscored the formalization of British sovereignty over these lands. Increase parliamentary control. Pitt's India Act of 1784 conferred upon British Parliament ultimate authority over companies' operations and administration of its Indian territory. This shift effectively placed companies' activities under direct supervision of British Crown, making it a pivotal moment in consolidation of British rule in India. Separation of power. Pitt's India Act of 1784 also introduced the separation of power for first time, laying the groundwork for dual government or double governance in India. Direct control. Unlike the previous regulation of 1773, which primarily sought to regulate affairs, Pitt's India Act subordinate the company to British government, effectively putting Indian administrative under direct government control. Pitt's India Act से drawback देखते हैं. Despite the significant changes introduced by Pitt's India Act of 1784, the legislation was not without its shortcomings. These drawbacks reveal the complexities and challenges inherent in Act's attempt to reform governance of British India. सबसे पहले देखते हैं एम्बिग्यूटी इन डुअल कंट्रोल सिस्टम. द डुअल कंट्रोल सिस्टम इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाई एक्ट क्रिएटेड ए कॉम्प्लेक्स एंड ऑफन कंट्राडिक्टरी गवर्नेंस स्ट्रक्चर. ठीक है. देयर वॉज नो लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल बिटवीन बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल एंड कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. द पावर ऑफ बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल, court of director and governor general were subjective rather than objective. Persistence of corruption. Despite amended to curb malpractices, corruption and abuse of power continue to be the problem of British administration. Strengthen power of governor general. The reduction in executive council members gave governor general an advantage. This is because Governor General only need one vote from Executive Council to carry out his willful decision. ठीक है. Administrative difficulty. The absence of clear guideline and responsibility created administrative difficulties and uncertainties in governance of British possession in India. Neglect of Indian interest. The Act prioritized British interest over welfare and aspiration of Indian population. The governance structure it established was designed to maximize British control rather than meet need of Indians. Okay. अब देखते हैं चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1813. Chartered Act of 1813 passed by British Parliament renewed the British East India Company Charter for another 20 years. It also introduced important reform to address the shifting dynamics of British governance in India. Charter Act of 1813 was a significant legislative act passed by British Parliament. It extended the British East India Company Charter for another 20 years while making several significant changes to reflect the changed dynamics of British governance in India. This act is regarded as a front runner in modernization of Indian administration and economy, laying the groundwork for subsequent reforms. What is Charter Act of 1813? Charter Act, also referred as East India Company Act 1813, was a legislative measure passed by British Parliament that extended 20 साल बढ़ा दिया गया. रिवीजन देखिए. The act restricted certain monopolistic rights of East India Company while allowing it to retain over trade in tea and commerce with China. It liberalized Indian trade by allowing British merchants to participate except in these areas. Additionally, the Act established a more organized and regulated framework for governance in India, incorporating provision for education, missionary activities and specific financial allocation. Background देखते हैं. The Charter Act was enacted amidst significant socio-political and economic transformation in Britain and India. By this time, East India Company has evolved from a trading entity to a dominant political force with extensive territorial authority in India. Economic pressure. In early 19th century, there was an increasing demand in Britain for more open and free trade policy. The Napoleonic War of 1803 से 1815 had a significant impact on British economy, and there was growing pressure from British merchant and manufacturer to open Indian market to British products. ठीक है. Political reform. There were political pressure in Britain to limit East India Company autonomy. Many British parliamentarians believed that company administrative practice were corrupt and inefficient. Reformer contended that direct intervention from British Parliament were required to ensure proper governance. Religious and humanitarian concern. There was growing evangelical movement in British advocating for spread of Christianity in India. Furthermore, humanitarian concerns were raised about alleged mistreatment of Indian subject under company rule. Previous charter. Religious and humanitarian concern. There was a growing ठीक है. Previous charter. The Act of 1813 followed the earlier Charter Act of 1793 and 1773, which renewed the company's charter while changing the governance of British India. Each subsequent act reduced the company's power while increasing government oversight. Charter Act of 1813 provisions. देखो. ओके. सबसे पहला है एंड ऑफ मोनोपोली. The act abolished the East India Company's monopoly on Indian trade except the lucrative tea trade and Chinese trade. This provision enabled other British merchants to trade freely in India, opening up the Indian market to broader British commercial interest. Extension of company rule. The act extended company's charter for another 20 years, but increased regulatory control from British Crown. The British government retained the authority to appoint Governor General and company's top official in India, indicating a shift towards greater government oversight. ठीक है. Financial allocation for education. The act mandated that 1 lakh be set aside each year for Indian education. Every year, efforts are made to promote and encourage literature, learning, and science among Indian natives. Permission for missionary activities. The act authorized Christian missionaries to enter British India and spread education and religious belief. This provision was introduced following intense lobbying by evangelical group in Britain, and it marked the start of missionary activities in India. Defined British territory. The Council of Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta were required to submit their regulation to British Parliament, and for the first time, British territories' constitutional provision in India was clearly defined. Separate account and expanded supervision. Separate accounts were required for commercial transaction and territorial revenue. The Board of Control power of supervision and direction were expanded significantly. Significance देखते हैं. Economic impact. इसने मतलब कंपनी की मोनोपोली को ऐड कर दिया. एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म आया. एजुकेशन प्रमोट हुआ. रिलीजियस और वो क्रिश्चियन मिशनरी आ गई. फाउंडेशन फॉर फ्यूचर रिफॉर्म. क्रिटिसिज्म देखो. Inadequate education funding. Given the large population and need for comprehensive educational reform, the allocation of 1 lakh for education has been widely criticized. Many saw it as a symbolic gesture rather than a significant investment in Indian education. Retention of company privileges. Some critics claim that the act did not go far enough in dismantling East India Company power. Although the trade monopoly was partially lifted, the company retained significant administrative and commercial power, which some argued should have been reduced further. Cultural value imposition. The allowances for missionary activities were controversial, with many viewing it as an attempt to impose Western religious and cultural values on Indian society, undermining traditional religious practice and belief. Lack of direct government control. Some British reformers believed that Act did not give British government enough direct control over Indian administration, allowing the East India Company to wield excessive power. Impact on local industries. The opening of Indian market to British goods resulted in decline of several traditional Indian industries, particularly the textile, which was unable to compete with influx of cheap British goods. This had a severe economic impact on local artisan and craftsmen. हम देखते हैं चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1833. देखो, द चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1833, ऑल्सो नोन एज सेंट हेलेना एक्ट, वॉज ए मेजर पीस ऑफ ब्रिटिश लेजिस्लेशन. इट वॉज ए सिग्निफिकेंट रिफॉर्म डेट मार्क्ड ए वाटरशेड मूवमेंट इन ब्रिटिश इंडियाज एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. द एक्ट एम टू कंसोलिडेट एंड स्ट्रीमलाइन गवर्नेंस इन ब्रिटिश टेरिटरी इन इंडिया, रिसेपिंग द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एंड लीगल फ्रेमवर्क. अब हम बैकग्राउंड देखते हैं. Before Charter Act, the East India Company underwent several reforms, including Regulation Act of 1773, Pitt's India Act of 1784. These acts were intended to address administrative issues and increase control over company's operation. Charter Act of 1833 was introduced to continue this process, providing a more comprehensive framework for governance. फीचर्स देखते हैं. चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1833 सेंट्रलाइज ब्रिटिश गवर्नेंस इन इंडिया बाय एक्सपेंडिंग द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी लीज एंड एम्पावरिंग गवर्नर जनरल. ठीक है. while lifting trade monopolies and facilitating European colonization. It also prohibited discrimination against Indian and initiated reform to improve slavery condition, leading to its abolition in 1843. Company's 20-year lease were extended. The Crown would govern India's territories, and company monopoly on trade with China and tea was lifted. ठीक है. Restriction of European immigration and property acquisition in India have been lifted. This paved the way for extensive European consolidation in India. Charter Act of 1833 centralized administrative power by establishing a governing body for British India. The administrative power of East India Company was transferred to new position known as Governor General of India. The Governor General was appointed to oversee and direct company's civil and military affairs. The Governor General assumed complete control over Bengal, Madras, Bombay and other territories. Governor General would control all revenue and expenditure. Governor General of Madras, Bombay lost their legislative power and were only able to process law projected to Governor General. A law expert was appointed to Governor General Council to provide professional advice on legislation. The company prohibited discrimination against Indian citizens based on religious, color, birthplace or descent. Although the reality differed, this declaration served as the foundation for political activism in India. The administration was urged to improve slavery condition and eventually abolished. Slavery 1843 में abolish हो गई. Significance क्या है? End trade monopoly, centralization of administration, Governor General of India का concept आ गया. Consolidation of law. It resulted in the establishment of Indian Law Commission led by Lord Macaulay, which was instrumental in codifying Indian law and laying the groundwork for more structured legal framework. Social and administrative reform. The Act established provision for inclusion of Indians in government services based on merit, removing racial, religious and caste barrier and promoting a more inclusive administrative system. फिर उसके बाद है legislative power. It centralized legislative authority in the hand of Governor General in Council, ushering a more structured legislative process. लिमिटेशन क्या है? ओवर सेंट्रलाइजेशन हो गया, लैक ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन, जुडिशल एम्बिग्यूटी. वाइल एक्ट इंटेंडेड टू कोडिफाई ला, इट फेल टू क्लियरली डिफाइन द जुरिडिक्शन एंड पावर ऑफ न्यूली एस्टेब्लिश्ड कोर्ट, रिजल्टेड इन लीगल एम्बिग्यूटी एंड कन्फ्लिक्ट. लिमिटेड इम्पैक्ट ऑन इंडियन पार्टिसिपेशन. ठीक है. फिर ये आया तुम्हारा इंडियन काउंसिल एक्ट ऑफ 1863. ठीक है. ये सबसे पहले तो कब आया? बैकग्राउंड. आफ्टर मार्च ऑफ 1857 Indian rebellion demonstrated the need for administrative reform and more inclusive governance. The British recognized that excluding India from governance could lead to further unrest. To carry out this Association Policy 3 Act 1861, 1892 and 1909 was passed. The act restored legislative power to Mumbai and Madras Presidency, reversing the centralizing trend of Regulation Act of 1773 and Charter Act of 1833. It aimed to decentralize power for more effective administration and to address demand for educated Indian for greater participation in governance. प्रोविजन क्या है? इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ पोर्टफोलियो सिस्टम. लॉर्ड कैनिंग ने फॉर्मलाइज किया पोर्टफोलियो सिस्टम विच असाइंड स्पेसिफिक गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट टू ईच काउंसिल मेंबर. This was intended to improve administrative efficiency by allowing members to issue final order within their respective department. Legislative devolution to provision. The act returned legislative power to Bombay and Madras presidencies, reversing previous act centralization trend. It also established new legislative council जैसे बंगाल 1862, नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर प्रोविंस 1866 and पंजाब 1897, laying the groundwork for increased provincial autonomy. Nomination of Indian members. According to the act, the Viceroy may nominate Indians to लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. और ये लॉर्ड कैनिंग ने 3 लोगों को, राजा ऑफ बनारस, महाराजा ऑफ पटियाला एंड सर दिनकर राव, इनको नॉमिनेट किया. कहाँ? लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल में. ठीक है. बंगाल 1862, नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर स्टेट 1866 एंड पंजाब 1897. ठीक है. पोर्टफोलियो हो गया. डिवोल्यूशन एंड पावर. प्रोविंसेस को नॉमिनेशन कर दिया. वायसराय ऑर्डिनेंस पावर. The act granted the Viceroy the authority to issue ordinance valid for up to 6 months during emergency without legislative council approval. Despite the act's decentralization measure, this provision emphasizes the governor's written central authority. Empowerment of regulate council business. The act empowered the Viceroy to issue rules and order to ensure that councils run smoothly, consolidating his power over legislative procedure and improving operational efficiency. सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन एंड लेजिस्लेटिव डिवोल्यूशन हो गया. अब एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म आया टू प्रीकर्सर फॉर टू फीचर अपॉन रिवर्सल ऑफ सेंट्रलाइजेशन. क्रिटिसिज्म क्या है? लिमिटेड रोड ऑफ लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. टोकन रिप्रेजेंटेशन. ठीक है. रिटेन सेंट्रलाइजिंग कंट्रोल. अब हम इसमें देखेंगे, इसका बैकग्राउंड है, छोड़ो, फीचर्स देखो. Increase in non-official members. Indian Council Act of 1892 increased the number of non-official members on central and provincial government, allowing for greater Indian participation. मुंबई में 8, मद्रास में 20, बंगाल में 20, नॉर्थ वेस्ट प्रोविंस स्टेट में 15, उच्च में 15 एंड सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल में मिनिमम 10 और मैक्सिमम 16. ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद है लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल एक्सपेंशन. द एक्ट रिजल्टेड इन एडिशन ऑफ मोर मेंबर टू गवर्नर लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल, आल्सो नोन एज इंडियन लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल, अलाउइंग फॉर ग्रेटर इंडियन पार्टिसिपेशन. लोकल बॉडी एम्पावर्ड. लोकल एंटिटीज सच एज यूनिवर्सिटी, डिस्ट्रिक्ट बोर्ड्स, म्यूनसिपैलिटी, जमींदार, ट्रेड ग्रुप्स एंड चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स वर गिविंग द अथॉरिटी टू रिकमेंड मेंबर टू प्रोविंशियल काउंसिल, thereby introducing a form of representation. Indirect election. While the act did not explicitly mention election, it did include an indirect election process for selection of non-official member, indicating a shift towards representative governance. Right to express view on financial matter. Member of legislative council were granted the right to discuss and express their view on financial statement that were to be presented in legislature. Right to question the executive. Legislative were allowed to question the executive on public interest issue as long as they provided 6-day notice. Increasing transparency and accountability in government. देखो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल माइलस्टोन है, इंक्रीज कर रहा है इंडियन इन्वॉल्वमेंट. फाउंडेशन फॉर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव गवर्नमेंट कैटलाइज कर रहा है रिवोल्यूशनरी मूवमेंट.